Good morning and welcome to everybody. On behalf of Women and Gender Institute, our partners and networks, we would like to welcome everybody from all across the country. It feels great to celebrate Women's Month even in April. While it seems that we are extending Women's Month surreptitiously, the point that we are making is that every month is actually Women's Month. The idea of a National Women's Summit came many years ago in an inspired moment when Senator Shahani, then our Dean for the College of International, Humanitarian and Development Studies, myself and the late Gigi Francisco of Don, and the first executive of WOGI, were discussing the challenges of the women's movement. And in one of those discussions, Senator Shahani voiced her concern over the lack of dynamism of the women's movement, which at that point had been struggling to fight for the passage of the Reproductive Health Bill. The first Women's Summit was received enthusiastically by women's groups. It affirmed the need for a forum that was open, inclusive, and reflected the gender issues of the time. One of the most exciting NWS that we had was hosting President Michelle Bachelet, President of Chile, who was our guest speaker for the forum. This year, we decided to focus on some of the most pressing gender issues in the last 5 years that was aggravated by the COVID pandemic, which we all know caused havoc in everybody's lives. In our review and discussion of the issues, we are guided by the consensus in the recent Commission on the Status of Women, which reaffirmed that the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action and its outcome documents have laid a solid foundation for sustainable development. The full, effective, accelerated implementation of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action will make a crucial contribution to the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and towards achieving gender equality and empowerment for all women and girls. As we prepare for the 30th anniversary of Beijing next year, we are mindful of the persistence of these many problems. One, the deepening poverty marked by food insecurity, lack of employment, and access to resources that continue to marginalize women. Two, precarious peace processes and agreements that have hindered women's participation in peace processes. And while dramatic progress has been achieved in mainstreaming gender in government policies, authoritarian governments have assumed power and suppressed women's voices and shrunk the remaining spaces for civil society participation in governments. In the last 5 years, we have also witnessed how environmental crises can negatively impact even the most well-laid-out development plans. To discuss these gender issues, we have distinguished speakers who are experts in their fields. It would have been difficult to gather this array of speakers in March, as they were all busy with their own activities. In our panel discussions,